Hi, welcome to the Mommy Manual, basically the podcast designed to help you navigate motherhood because no manual's ever been written. I'm Jenna, I'm your host. I'm also a mom. Well, let me clarify, I'm a first-time mom, so while we all do our communal eye roll knowing that I have Googled literally everything, I've been through a pretty emotional roller coaster these past 20 months with my daughter while learning how to mom. This podcast wasn't just started by me. This podcast was started by the online baby brand company Ashtonbee. I'm the resident mom of their brand. The reason we started this podcast is because, let's be honest, being a parent can be super lonely, amazing, but lonely. I know we have all heard that phrase that parenting can be lonely, and we have all felt it, and yet for some reason, there's still this lack of resources where we can go that are judgment-free. After having Audrey, I just felt like I needed somewhere to go to hear from moms that were feeling the same way as me, or maybe just to put it simply, moms that got me or got where I was coming from. It wasn't always easy to find what I was looking for, and so now, with the help of Ashtonbee, we're going to try and offer that to you. We're going to bring stories, support, insight, experts, and hilarity to all of you amazing moms out there who might just need somewhere to go to laugh, maybe cry, and have a mom that gets you and who understands where you're coming from in a totally judgment-free space. And if you just stumbled upon this podcast without knowing anything about Ashtonbee, welcome. And we're so glad you're here. Okay, so before I get into some of the things I wanted to talk about today on why we created this podcast, I just need to share this one thing because I have been literally telling everyone about this. My daughter is, like I said, 20 months old, and she loves coloring. Loves it. Cannot get enough. I don't know how this happened. One night, I was putting her to bed. Same routine as always. Pajamas, we brush our teeth, we get some snuggles, read her a story, usually 3, and then just a cuddle and good night. And the next morning, when I went in there at like 6:30 in the morning, oh man, she was so proud. She had colored her entire mattress. The whole thing. Lines everywhere, swirls, everything, you name it. And it was like this dark red purple color. It looked like blood. And it was all over her pajamas, all over her face, all over her hands. I didn't know what to do. I was just laughing, but like not laughing because it was bad and she shouldn't have done it. So I'm like standing there trying to tell her like, no, you can't do that. But also was kind of proud of her for how creative she was. It was a real difficult dilemma as a mom. So I took the marker away. I then proceeded to look for every other marker in my house and got rid of it. And then for Christmas, she was given those mess-free markers that won't draw on anything but specific paper. And she also is frisked before she goes to bed to make sure that she is not packing anything. I still to this day do not know where that marker came from. I always have them in a container put up. I don't know where she hid it. I'm both proud of her and was super blown away at the amount of mess that my daughter created that night. Okay, I have never met a single mom who truly didn't care what other moms or strangers or family members or friends had to say about their parenting or about what decisions they made for their kids. A lot of people say they don't care, but I have firsthand witnessed those people that say they don't care totally caring what other people said or thought about them. And I am the worst for it. I am the first person to own the fact that I am a very sensitive individual. And for this reason, I actually seek strangers and I go to strangers for questions and things that I just want a little insight for. And don't get me wrong, I love my mom. My mom is my rock. She has helped me through everything. She has been there for me. Mom, if you're listening, I super duper appreciate you. But sometimes I just find it so much easier to just get on a keyboard and type something out or read other people's posts or see other people's articles and read other people's comments and be like, oh, they get me. And so I have a little confession. I actually joined a group on Facebook outside of my country that was an exercise group. And because it was outside of the country I lived in, I figured, nobody I know will be a part of it. And I can be as free as I want. I am not recommending this because I did feel bad in my core for lying, but at the same time, it gave me so much freedom to just write, ask questions, and get insight on things that were happening right now, and every milestone my child was going through, or every challenge, or every leap, or teething. Oh my goodness, the teething. And the best part about the whole thing was that I could read it, take it, or leave it. And sometimes people give insight and I'm like, I haven't thought of it like that. And that's great. And that is 100% why we created this podcast. It's to give you a spot where you can go to listen to stories with someone who gets it, and to also listen to insight and different angles at topics from experts, and to not have to worry about listening to Aunt Diane at the Cheese and Crackers at Christmas telling you how things were done when she was raising kids. And I cannot be the only person who has gone through that. So let me tell you about Ashtonbee real quick. Ashtonbee, like I said, is an online baby brand that specializes in high-quality products that will help you and your family build memories that will last a lifetime. And a lot of their products really do help with teething. They have a fruit fillable teething pacifier. Now, you can fill it with anything, not just fruit, and you can even put it in the freezer. So you could fill it with breast milk, and it would be a breast milk pop that would soothe their sore gums. They also sell high chairs and splat mats and folding bassinets and play mats, and they even have new products coming out this year. So if you haven't checked out Ashtonbee, you really should, and it's super easy to do so. They have social media. Their Instagram is at Ashtonbee Official, same as their Facebook. And speaking of groups that you might want to join for support and talk to strangers that are going through the same thing you are, join Ashtonbee The Hive. It's Ashtonbee's Facebook group that we started that is designed specifically for what I was looking for, and that is for parents to go there and provide support for each other and talk to each other and help guide each other through this crazy road that is parenting. So that is my quick plug about Ashtonbee, and let's get back to this podcast. So let me paint the picture for you. It was my daughter's first birthday, and if you're listening to this and you have a child's birthday coming up, or you just celebrated that first birthday, you know as well as I know that Pinterest means that you need to go above and beyond, spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars making that perfect picturesque birthday party for your child that they won't remember. But everyone that visits will know for sure that this will go down in history as the best first birthday they've ever attended. Or at least that was the rationale that I had. Yep, I stayed up all night long making a cake for my daughter's first birthday. And it started out with the best of intentions. I had plates and napkins left over from a baby shower that I threw that was Peter Rabbit themed. And I thought, my daughter loves bunnies. She loves animals and she loves bunnies. I'm going with this Peter Rabbit theme. So did I ever? I ended up going to the dollar store and buying little white picket fences and buying little small mini gardening tools. I even bought a cabbage and I hollowed it out and put the dip in it to make it look like the dip was sitting inside a cabbage in Mr. McGregor's garden. I was so tired by the time it was her first birthday that in all the pictures, all I see is it looked good, but it was so ridiculous. And that is just one of the reasons why we need parents to stop and say, Pinterest sometimes is nonsense. I can promise you that on Instagram, every person I see that goes crazy for the pictures is just the picture of the child in their high chair smashing their cake or cupcake and getting it all over their face. Do what you can. and just enjoy. And yes, I 100% have a board started already for her second birthday. So that's today's podcast. Thank you so much for taking the time to give us a chance. And if you did stumble on this podcast by accident, I'm really glad that you stuck around to hear what I had to say. For our podcast in the future, we're going to be getting experts, influencers, and a variety of people to jump in and have a conversation with me about topics, breaking things down and dissecting the topics that we moms would benefit from. Things like I talked about today. Why are toddlers drawn? Everything with markers and how we handle it. Or why are we so obsessed with being that perfect Pinterest or Instagram mom? Anyways, thank you again for checking out this podcast. Stay tuned for our next episode, and please leave a comment below about a topic that you feel like you knew absolutely nothing about before having a kid, or something that surprised you. That's it. I'm Jenna, and you were listening to the Mommy Manual.